I'm going to be talking to you guys about my origin story, and there's so much to talk about since I've been on Keyboard and Mouse for over 1 year now. I've learned so much over this past year, and I will be going over how my mindset was so you can possibly get some inspiration for your own Keyboard and Mouse progressions. So this story starts off on the 20th of February in 2018. Fortnite was booming in popularity, and every single kid was playing it. I just received my first personal Xbox since it was my birthday. I was super excited because this meant I didn't have to share an Xbox with my brother anymore, so I could play Fortnite for a lot longer. At this time, Fortnite was pretty young, and it was only about 5 months old, so like many other players, I was pretty bad at controller. I spent the next couple of months grinding Fortnite every single chance I got, especially solos. Unlike my friends who just played the game super casually, I really tried to get good at it. I think it was safe to say at that time I was a little bit better than average. Anyways, back in that time, wins were the only thing that people cared about. So as a result, I would try to get as many wins as I possibly could. I would care so much about my Fortnite tracker score, and I'm not even gonna lie, when I lost a lot of games, I would get pretty mad. Around Season 5, Playground Mode was released, and if you guys are OG, you definitely remember how crazy it was, so shout out to you guys. Anyways, I would alternate between playing in Playground Mode and in solos. When Playground first got released, a lot of people started switching to keyboard and mouse, especially even if they were on console. This definitely did tempt me a little bit, but I didn't want to just throw away all the skill I learned on controller. So I stuck to controller. Before Fortnite even came around, I was super comfortable on controller because I played a lot of Black Ops 3. Around the next 2 seasons of playing Fortnite, it was about Season 7, and this is when I really noticed I hit a skill cap. I didn't really feel like I was improving at all, but at that exact same time, Arena first got released. Everyone was super excited and tried to get as many points as they possibly could. This led to a lot of the arena games at that time being super stacked, and this would literally kill us console players. Once it got to one of the last zones, I was barely getting 40 FPS and it was basically unplayable. Also, at that point in time, there were no new gen consoles, so you could not get 120 FPS on a console. Like 99% of console players, I didn't just have like 1K laying around that I could spend on a brand new PC. Luckily, after people started getting used to arena, a lot of people started to W key, which led to less stacked lobbies. This meant that old gen consoles could run arena a lot easier. However, competitive started being more accessible to everyone all around the world, and the story was the exact same. My console literally turned into a straight toaster in these Fortnite endgames. I decided that I really needed a new PC, so at that exact moment in time, I started saving up for one, which is probably one of the best decisions I've ever made. World Cup was just starting up, and it generated so much hype. I was super excited to play in the World Cup, but as soon as I loaded into those endgames, all my excitement just completely disappeared. As many of you console players know, those World Cup endgames were literally unplayable. You could not do anything about it. When the zone started moving with 50 people alive or something like that, I was just lagging all over the place and I couldn't even get 30 FPS. Despite all of this, I really wanted to play Fortnite competitive, so I really started to save every single penny I got for a PC. While I was playing in the World Cup and Arena, I noticed that I was going against a lot of good keyboard and mouse players. It was pretty obvious that keyboard and mouse was the dominant input. It became pretty apparent to me that if I stuck to controller, I would never become as good as a keyboard and mouse player. If you still don't believe me, only 6 of the people that qualified for the World Cup were actually on controller. Meaning that over 90% of people who qualified for the World Cup were on keyboard and mouse. Not only that, but a lot of my friends started taking interest into switching to keyboard and mouse. I probably made one of the dumbest decisions and spent over $150 on an Alienware keyboard and mouse. Not only should you be spending that much on your first keyboard and mouse, but Alienware keyboard and mice are not really that good for Fortnite. They're better for other games, but just not Fortnite. To top it all off, I could have used some of this money for my future PC. Anyways, one dumb decision out the way, I plugged in my new keyboard and mouse into my console, and I 1v1 my friend who just switched to keyboard and mouse. It was fun, but I was absolutely terrible. I very quickly decided that I was not going to stay on keyboard and mouse at all. Looking back at it, I wonder how good I would have been today if I actually did switch to keyboard and mouse all that long time ago. This is why I really encourage you guys to switch as soon as possible. This way you won't regret it in the future. Don't keep on holding it off. Anyways, Fortnite Chapter 1 was just coming to an end and Chapter 2 was released. Following Chapter 2, we had arguably the easiest tournament to get money in, the Winter Royale. This was by far the closest I've ever been to getting any earnings. However, my Xbox ended up crashing 3 times because of just how laggy the endgames were. I don't know if it was just my Xbox, but in other words, my Xbox could not handle any of these tournaments. As you would imagine, I was literally completely done, bro. I could not do it with console, so 1 week later, I ended up buying a 240Hz monitor. It was around November to December when I bought this monitor, so it was on a Black Friday deal, which I got at a pretty good price. Obviously, there really wasn't any point in me getting a 240Hz monitor if I only got 60 FPS on console, so just 4 months later, I was finally able to afford my PC with a little bit of a help with my parents. I got my PC on arguably probably the best day you could ever get your PC, the 31st of March 2020. The entire virus started, meaning you have no idea how much time I had to play. I had all the time in the world. As soon as I plugged in my PC, got everything set up, dude, I can't even explain how good 240 FPS felt with no input delay. It was just an indescribable feeling. I decided that even though I was still switching to PC, I still wanted to stick to my controller. One of the leading factors for why I didn't actually switch off is because it was Chapter 2 Season 2. As many of you guys know, people were actually switching in from keyboard and mouse to controller. Controller was the dominant input this season. Aim assist was so insane, and you had items like the Midas Mythic. And you also had big players like Unknown Army absolutely popping off and showing that controller was literally the best input at that time. Around this time, I got one of my best placements ever, which was 315th in a solo hype cup. Many of you guys might not think that was too good of a placement, but for me, at that time especially, that was really good. I continued to play tournaments for about one more month, and I think I got my best ever placement, which was like top 190 in another hype cup. However, I did not play claw or paddles, which definitely led to my skill stagnating. I wasn't improving as much as I would like, I wasn't really placing, I had no earnings, and I just felt like it was kind of a waste of time, so I kind of got demotivated when it came to Fortnite competitive. At this exact time, I swear, literally everything fits at the perfect time for me or something, Valorant just came out. Some of you guys might recall, but Valorant was literally getting about 1.5 million average viewers on Twitch in the beta. This game was something completely new for me that I never tried before, so I really enjoyed it. I ended up quitting Fortnite and switched completely to Valorant, so of course I came back to Fortnite since I missed it a little bit and I still wanted to see what was going on, plus some of my friends were still playing it. Little did I know how much this would really change my life. When I first logged on, I was absolutely dog on controller since I haven't played Fortnite or controller for over 6 months. One of my biggest advantages when I switched was that I was not tempted at all to switch between controller and keyboard and mouse. I was already completely dog on controller and I had nothing to lose. However, many beginners when they first switch to keyboard and mouse, they always switch back and forth between controller and keyboard and mouse. This completely hurts your progression and it messes up all your muscle memory. So please don't switch back and forth between controller and keyboard and mouse. Luckily for me, I progressed really fast in creative. I think this was honestly the most motivated I've ever been to grind Fortnite, and I just played it for so long. I grinded at least 8 hours every single day. Having a good mindset like this definitely did help my progression out a lot. One of the biggest tips I can give you guys when switching is to have fun with it. Don't really get mad if you do bad or anything like that. Sure, it will definitely be pretty hard at the beginning, but in the long run, it will be well worth it. Also, when watching progression videos, don't really compare yourself to that person's skill because everyone progresses at different levels. If you compare yourself to someone else in a negative way, this will only demotivate you and hurt your progression. One commonly missed thing about Fortnite is that it's the quality of your work, not the amount of time you spend on it. It is a lot more beneficial to spend 1 hour in creative compared to 4 hours in arena, especially when you first switch. If you guys are struggling or you just switch to keyboard and mouse, just know that the first week is by far the hardest, and then every single week after that gets a lot easier. One big tip that will really help you out in your progression is to make sure you choose the right keybinds and sensitivity. If you guys want to know all of my updated sensitivity and keybinds, make sure to watch until the end of the video. Anyways, during this entire time of me doing my progression, I recorded the entire process. So after spending 7 days on keyboard and mouse, I edited all the footage, made the thumbnail and all of that, and I actually posted it onto YouTube. I was expecting this video to get 10,000 views, and even 10k was a lot for me. This video actually ended up getting a lot of views instantly, and it actually had 50k views in about 1 to 3 weeks. After I saw how well this was really doing, I just posted a bunch more progression and Fortnite videos. I think I ended up getting 1k subs during my 3-week progression, and this really motivated me. I was growing like crazy, and I was super motivated when it came to YouTube, but also my progression. People kept on coming back every single week to see just how much I have progressed. A little bit of a side note, last time I did this video 3 months ago, I actually had 67k subs. And to now have over 161,000 subscribers is absolutely insane. We basically have 100,000 more subscribers, so I really have to thank you guys so much for that. If you guys want to join the Vermax fan, make sure to drop a quick sub. You can unsub at any time if you don't enjoy the content, that is completely fine with me. Some of you guys are probably wondering what were the solid and concrete reasons for why I actually switched. The first thing is that it made Fortnite so much fun and it felt like I was completely restarting the game. I kind of wish I could relive my Fortnite keyboard and mouse progression. It was so fun. I really mean it when I say that. During my first week of keyboard and mouse, I would spend like 8 hours every single day, and I would spend about half that time in creative. This is one of the main reasons for why I improved so fast. All of this motivation was truly the main reason for why I got to the skill level I'm at today. Going back to the point I told you guys before, just have fun with keyboard and mouse. Don't get mad at it and just enjoy the entire experience. Every single good keyboard and mouse pro player was in the exact same position you're about to be in. Nothing comes right away, so don't give up super easily. Many new keyboard and mouse players quit over a very short period of time because they get get impatient. Another main reason for why I switched is because I felt like I was skill capped on controller and like I could not improve anymore. Many of you guys might feel this exact same way, so I really encourage you guys to switch to keyboard and mouse. If you're not playing with claw or paddles, you should not be on controller if you're trying to improve. People always ask me if they should switch to keyboard and mouse even if they're on console. In my honest opinion, it is definitely worth it. Even though you will have some disadvantages like your frame rate or input delay, I've seen a lot of good old gen console players. The skill level on keyboard and mouse is literally unlimited. One small benefit when being on keyboard and mouse is that if you ever quit Fortnite, you can play keyboard and mouse on many other games. And more times than not, in other games too, keyboard and mouse is the better input. If you haven't switched to keyboard and mouse yet, I think it is definitely worth it to switch to keyboard and mouse even if it is chapter 3. Many people are switching from controller to keyboard and mouse every single day. If I did provide you guys with any kind of value or give you guys some good tips, please make sure to sub. It truly helps me out so much, and over 65% of you guys who watch my content are not subbed. Let's see if we can hit 7k likes on this video. That will be insane. Before you guys leave, please make sure to use code VERMAX. It's by far the best way to support me. We're trying to get 3,000 people using code VERMAX, so if you, the viewer, pop it in, we could definitely reach that goal. Anyways, good luck with all your guys' keyboard and mouse progressions, and peace.